Soupy has served in the presidential cabinet under Ford and Secretary of Pies. Soupy has had he's now on WNBC Radio. He has had shows in the past that were supposedly children's shows, but designed for children in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, quite obviously. Actually, Soupy is a wonderful guy. I know him for a long time. Eyes in the face, and today won't be one of them, though. There's no surprise, and that's great. He can be heard every day from 10 to 3 p.m. on WNBC Radio, a large station here in town. He's a nationally known figure in comedy and a very funny man. Welcome, Soupy Sales. Soupy!
They're playing Pakalafika. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, it's good to see you.
Nice to see you.
I was watching years ago one of Soupy. There are so many famous stories attached to Soupy, and one of them, and this is really true. You tell the story, but it happened on New Year's Day, and it was a number of years ago. You were a big hit here in New York. Was that a time of syndication, or you were in New York?
Syndication. Yeah. But the thing is, it was really wild because when you're doing live television, you know, it's like you're there. You can't do it over again, and that's what in the days. It was in '65,
right?
And I was doing a show. And it was like about a minute. It was a couple of minutes before 7 o'clock on New Year's Day night. So you didn't want to waste a bit because you're doing everything live. You know, I said, well, we'll save it for tomorrow. So they said, well, you got a minute to fill. What are you going to do? So I said, I'll think of something. So is this the camera?
I don't know. We have several. Is that all right?
So anyway, so I said, so I walked up to the camera, and I said, it was about 2 minutes, 3 minutes till 7. And it was New Year's Day night, see? And I said, hey, kids, I said, last night was New Year's Eve. And I said, your mom and dad were out having a good time, and it's only right because they work hard all year. I said, they're probably still sleeping in the bedroom. And I said, what I want you to do is, I want you to tiptoe in the bed. Don't wake them up. I said, but you'll see your mom's pocketbook on the floor and your dad's pants. I said, don't wake them up. I said, but I want you to go in your mom's pocketbook and your dad's pants, and you'll see a lot of green pieces of paper, and they have pictures of guys with beards. And I said, I want you to take those green pieces of paper, and you'll put them in an envelope. And on the envelope, you write, Soupy Sales, Channel 5, New York, New York. And you know what I'm going to send you? A postcard from Puerto Rico. So everybody laughed and went, hey, that's all right. So we came back the next week. We had $80,000. So the thing is...
They were furious.
Oh, furious. I come in, and so the producer says, the executives want to see you up in their office after the show. And I says, it's going to be a raise. I was doing Bob Euchre, you know. I said, front row, you know. I said, they're probably going to compliment you, give me a raise, you know. So we went up there, and the producer's very cool, you know. He walked in there, and it was like, now, you know, if you do a thing and you get 1 or 2 calls or 1 or 2 complaints, you don't really pay that much attention to it because people will watch you even if they hate you.
Right.
You know, if you get a 50 or 100, then you're doing something wrong, see. So I walked up there, and they had 11 attorneys there. I mean, really, 11 attorneys. And they were sitting there, see. So the producer of the show walked in. He went, well, he was very cool. He went, you can't do anything with him. He just did it all his own. I didn't have anything to do with it. He's the one that did it. You can't believe me. They said, you're through. And they fired him. I walked in. So they said, did you tell the kids to take the money out of their mom's pocketbook and their dad's pocket? I said, you know, I said, yeah. And they said, how much money did you get? And I said, $80,000. You know, they went into catatonic shock, you know. And so they suspended me for a week, see?
But you had the most heartwarming, I think I can't ever remember anything like that. They were picketing the studio to get you back.
They tied up the switchboard, they were picketing and everything, and they called me up after 2 days. They said, you got to get over here and go in the air and tell them to quit doing that. And I said, you told me I was suspended for a week. You know, so, but it really worked, you know, very good.
So that you had a wonderful, happy ending to it.
Oh, yeah, it was great.
You see, your show really, you never really intended it for children, did you?
No, you know what?
I
always just wanted to go and do a show that I thought was funny, that I thought, you know, that people would like, you know.
You like physical stuff.
I love it. Oh, sure, physical.
Yeah. Well, when for years, you were on, in fact, I may have been a mystery guest on What's My Line.
I did that for 7 years.
Yes, you were a panelist. You know, I was on that show, and it was pretty sad for me to be a mystery guy. It was the beginning of my career. I was around for a few years, and it was so embarrassing. They, you know, it didn't get me. They threw all the cards, then they put a few more cards, and they couldn't get me.
Well, you know what was really...
Then they took off their blindfolds, and they still couldn't get me.
No. But you know what's funny? They used to sneak the people up through the back elevator at NBC. So sometimes we would come in the back way, and you would have a guest like Albert Finney or somebody, and what always would get me is that they would see you, you're in the elevator, instead of just being there, they go. Yeah. You know, like that. You know?
I was so foolish. I wasn't that well known, but I answered the questions like, yes, no. What am I, an idiot? I never gave him a chance, you know.
Yeah.
I should have gone,
I was once in Sardi's, and Charles Nelson Riley was in there. I said, hi, Charles, what are you doing in town? He says, I'm going to be the mystery guest on What's My Line. I went, oh, I should have said that, you know, but...
Gave it away.
Yes, but the thing is, what you would do is, if you ever ran into a situation like that, you would just say, hey, I know who it is, and you just...
You decline, like a Supreme Court justice.
Yeah.
I know this man, I can't decide this case. Were you really in the invasion of fought in Okinawa?
Yeah, really? Yeah, and in the Navy.
Soupy in the Navy. I mean, that makes me laugh just thinking. What'd you do in the Navy?
Well, you know what? I was a seaman first class, really. And I was in...
what kind of ship were you on?
APA 224. They used it in that movie, Away All Boats, with Jeff Chandler. They did a movie in later years.
What kind of ship is an APA 224?
It's Army Transport Attack. We were the flagship of the 7th Fleet.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I mean, well, it wasn't a battleship or a destroyer? Or...
We had a Commodore. That was the last of the Commodores. I mean, not the vocal group, but that was that's a rank that you don't see anymore.
I can see pies coming out of howitzers, you know.
No, but
there's a joke here somewhere.
No, but the thing is, it was a thing that I was a chaplain's assistant.
Oh, my God.
Really? Well, of course, about 300 guys changed religions, but what the hell, I can be... That's where I got the idea for White Fang, because we used to play those V-discs. And the V-discs were with the bands and the singers and dramatic shows. Yeah. So they had...
What is that, records made especially for the...
For the servicemen that they would play in the thing. So one day I was in the chaplain's office, and it was Hound of the Baskervilles with Basil Rathbone. And so on the thing was, and I went, I gotta have that, you know? And I was working for chaplain, and I stole the record and took it back to Huntington, West Virginia, and that became White Fang.
We'll be right back with Soupy Sales after this commercial.